All right. Sending peace, blessings, and abundance to you, my loves. Today, I'm going to talk about healing your inner child and crystals that aid in healing your inner child. I'm going to talk about two crystals in particular. One of them I haven't yet got. I actually came into knowledge of both of these crystals on today. And I was able to find one of them, and the second one that I found is amazing how the universe conspires to get you what you need. And so the second crystal, which I'm going to talk about, actually wasn't the one I was looking for. I went looking for another one, which I'll give you the details of the benefits of that one. However, it wasn't there, so I wound up getting another one that was I was informed of by the wonderful lady that was working there, and that one really actually is probably the perfect one for me. So, anywho, actually I have to say probably it is the perfect one for me because it is the one that was given to me by the universe. So, all right, like I said, this is about healing your inner child. This is to piggyback off the last video that I did, and that video was about 3 parts of astrology that I think are beneficial for you as far as knowing who you are and basically working on who you are. I know that's not the name of the video, however, that's the basis of it, is what I want to say. So, let's talk about healing your inner child. So, healing the inner child is necessary in order to overcome unresolved past issues, seeing that these issues impact your adult life. I call this Psychology 101, basically, because if you think about it, if you go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they're always going to ask you, so tell me about your childhood, because they know that every single person that is suffering from any type of childhood issues, whether it be or conditions, whether it be anxiety, anger, or depression, it all stems from your childhood. Because when we are children, we find different ways to cope with whatever is going on in our life. So I was talking about in my last video how we create our shadow self, because there's a coping mechanism in order to deal with trying to be this perfect person or the types of restrictions or things that your parental figures put on you. And it's not to bash our parental figures, because our parents are only doing what they learned. They were domesticated, so they domesticate us as well. And so they haven't healed and resolved their inner childhood issues because they went through a lot of shit. And I actually know some of the stuff my parents went through because my mother used to tell me so much stuff. She told me about her childhood and a lot of pain she went through. And she told me about some of my father's pains and things that he went through in his childhood. So, and he told me about some of them. Not a lot, because he wasn't a big share of those things because it's repressed. You know, a lot of people don't want to deal with that hurt because we want to move on from it. However, you can't move on, people. You can't move on truly and grow your inner self until you deal with those things and be truthful with yourself as to the impact of your childhood and what that did to you. Okay, and that was me going off script. Okay, I'm back. People think that because childhood is the shortest experience, these are my notes that I was just writing because it was just coming to me. All right, people think that because childhood is the shortest experience in the human life cycle, that the impact is small. However, your childhood has the most impact because these are the development years of one's belief systems. It's when we actually have a belief system created for us, given to us, pushed on us, okay? It is the programming that dictates how the rest of our life is operating. And I use programming for a reason. It is a program. It is programming. We are a computer. In your childhood, that is the time when your brain is soaking up so much information and is so adaptable. Children are so adaptable. Children are like putty. It's like the Play-Doh. I used to love Play-Doh, by the way. It's like Play-Doh. So I sounded really country when I said Play-Doh. So you're molding it into whatever shape you want, and that's what we do to the brains of children. That is what was done to our brains. That's what was done to our parents' brains. That's what was done to their parents' brains, and so on and so forth. The cycle continues. And so when we understand that, then we get why we are the way that we are, why we tick the way that we tick, why we operate the way that we operate. And when something goes tick, 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 like a bomb, it's like a bomb. It's just waiting to be to explode, basically. Okay? So in order to keep yourself from exploding, you need to delve into how you're wired. Who programmed you? How did they program you? And is that programming beneficial to who your true nature is and to who your true self is? Okay? And that was me going off script. Let me come back. So like I said, the first step is admitting how it impacted your life as well. I didn't say that part. Admitting also how it impacted your life. Being truthful and honest with oneself. Because that programming impacts your decisions and choices in your life. It impacts the spouses you choose. It impacts the jobs that you choose. It impacts if you give yourself self-love and self-care. It impacts the way you think about yourself, how you talk about yourself. Some of us are so mean to ourselves, like so vicious to ourselves. And it's really sad. Like I almost teared up. Like almost gave me a tear there, and I don't want to cry. Or lack of parenting. Okay, so for some it chooses it impacts whether or not you're in your child's life right now, this very moment. And yeah, and some of us it impacts if you even want to have children. This one here, you know. So having that infinite battle within yourself. You want a child, you don't want a child. You want a child, you don't want a child, because you feel like you're gonna push onto them what was put onto you. However, when you have an understanding of that, which is what I was talking about in the video before, please see that video if you haven't watched it. I give you the exact title to it. Let me go back. It's parts of astrology that play a major role in who we are. Look at that video before you look at this one, okay? All right. So now I'm going to talk about crystals that are beneficial for all of that I was talking about before. There are two crystals. I'm going to start with the one that I wanted. I went to Phoenix and Dragon bookstore. Love that store. Today. And I went there for Emerald and Ruby because I was watching one of Universal Frequencies videos when he was talking about some crystals. I didn't finish watching it because, like I said in the following video, I have Moldavite, and Moldavite has definitely been Moldavite has been molding me into a new being and transforming me into a new being in order to look at myself, really take a deep dive and look at myself and see that I still haven't quite healed in certain areas when it comes to my childhood, because I didn't have an understanding really of why, because you know a child always wants to know why. I didn't have an understanding as to why I was the way that I was, to why I was so emotional over certain things, why I was still holding on to certain relationships that weren't beneficial with men, why I was, you know, I still needed to get that, you know, in my head, and that's what Moldavite has been bringing up in me. And so my higher self led me to say, hey, you don't just need to get Emerald and Ruby for love. You also need to deal with bringing up some of those past issues, so that as far as not just bring them up, some stones that can actually help you heal through that process, to give you a little nurturing, because Moldavite is like it's kind of like the father, you know what I'm saying, where it gives you that toughness. So it's literally giving it to you with like no sugar. And I felt that I needed something to help me because it was causing my emotions to be kind of like an influx, you know, and I wanted to kind of calm and give me some calming while I'm going through the storm. So the stone I was looking for is called Smithsonite, SMITHSONITE. That particular stone I really wanted to get because I saw it in a crystal book in the Phoenix and Dragon bookstore, and it's of a blue color, the one that I wanted. That actually resonated with me because that being the last name of my father's side, I felt, you know, that was a calling to me. Not saying that I still will not get it, because I will be in my possession, because it has some other things that it can do besides helping you heal your inner child. Anywho's, this stone was named for English scientist James Smithson, because he supposedly was, I put supposedly, because he supposedly was the first person to identify the mineral back in 1802. During that time, it was known as calamine. It is composed of zinc carbonate, and the characteristics and properties, I wrote down a lot of characteristics and properties. It's not just for the inner child. The reason I wrote it down, because I didn't locate it, I want you to know the other benefits you can get from this stone. So, it shuts out the noise of the outside world and calms you. That is a big fucking deal. It shuts out the noise of the outside world and it calms you. It eases stress, worries, and allows your body to relax. It calms the overactive mind. So you know that's a good aid in meditation, y'all. So when all the people who said that they can't calm their mind, you need to be looking for some Smithsonite. Okay? It lets your body slow down. Some people are always on the go. They gotta go somewhere. I gotta go here. I gotta go to work. I gotta go here. I gotta go here. And you never take the time to let your body truly relax. And it's because you do not even know how to do that no more. You need to get this stone. Okay? It helps you focus on what you need. It allows you to listen to what your heart, mind, and spirit are telling you. And you will be powerless to resist it. It acts like a buffer to life's challenges. So it's a buffer. It's literally, your challenges are over here. This is you. And this is the buffer that it puts there. It says no. This is the stone. It's a buffer. No, it won't allow anything to impact you. That's beautiful. It will help you become stronger and more courageous so that you will not be affected by what's going on in your life. It will show you how to remain calm and composed in a bad situation. I used to quote the quotations because we know there's no such thing as truly as really good or bad. It's just that it's the vibrations of those things that's happening to us that is of a lower vibration that impacts us, our lower nature, which can cause for us to have some type of what people see as a bad situation. It will teach you to be kind and forgiving, even to people who don't deserve it. Because remember, when you forgive others, it's not even for you, it's for your, not for you, it's not for them, it's for yourself. Because if you're holding on to it, then it's still impacting you and it's still causing you negative emotions. Therefore, it's causing for instance, in your inner child, if somebody touched you or molested you, you forgiving that person has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. Because most likely they did that to you because somebody did that to them. So they transferred that vibration to you. Remember, when somebody is angry, they do their damnness to make you angry too. They'll pick an argument or a fight because it feels good to get that off of them onto you. That's really pretty much anything when it comes to a lot of these lower vibrations. Okay? It carries energies of kindness, beauty, and charm. So therefore, you will also possess those energies as well. This stone invites you to become more compassionate so that you can express healing in your life. If you're more compassionate towards some of the people who you feel wronged you, then it allows you to heal, because it allows you to forgive. Because the definition of compassionate is not the best. However, the way I look at it is, it allows you to see that person in a light of their God self more, and therefore you're able to excuse me, and also to see that person, they might have also went through something, so you're more empathetic to them, their plight or what they might have gone through, versus just being totally judgmental of that person and saying they're a bad person and they're a horrible person type of vibe. It will encourage you to let go of the past so that you can completely focus on your present, therefore impacting your future. Okay, so it allows you to let go of the past, and this is not just in this lifeline, that's past lives as well. Because remember that the reason why we're going through the things in this lifeline is because it's things that we did not resolve in the past, and until you resolve it, you keep repeating that cycle, which is that 12 house wheel of those zodiacs. Okay. It helps you heal. Hold on. Yeah, it helps you heal from emotional trauma and release the negative feelings in your heart. Again, that's another thing, helping you heal from your past life's trauma, or the things that you went through, your inner child has gone through in this lifeline. Because all that affects your emotional body, which is in your subtle body. I did a video for that, however, I never posted it. I was having issues with YouTube, and then at that time as well, like, I felt like I needed to be more educated on it, do a little bit more research before posting it, because I feel like I wasn't ready for it. So that's why I really didn't post it. However, like I was saying, the trauma and things that you go into your inner child, the things that in your perspective you take as being traumatic, it impacts your emotional body, and which impacts your heart. So your heart and your emotional body are attached. And so the things that ail you in your heart, it makes your aura less protected. Okay, so that's another reason why healing your inner child is important, because you leave your aura open to attack and to have holes and things in it. It's your ozone layer, it's your protection, so you don't want to I hate the word don't, you want to protect it and seal it and have it vibrant and vibrating into the universe, the right frequencies, because that's how you are willing things to you. And I did a video about that as well, how your heart, the desires of your heart, is what wills in the law of attraction, is what attracts things to you. So if you're still badly hurt about being molested and things like that, if that is still going on in your heart, even though you don't want it because you fear it and it's in your heart, you're attracting that thing back to you. And that's why you have people like Oprah Winfrey, who talked about how she was molested multiple times. So you have to heal that energy, the emotional body in your aura, by healing your heart. Okay. It also allows you to open your heart to love again. So for the people who be like, I'm tired of getting my heart broken and so on and so forth, this is the stone for you, because it makes you look at life like in a totally different light, because it helps you bring in forgiveness in your heart. Okay. It has some other benefits on the physical side as well that I put down. It also aids in building your immune system. So it supports your digestive system. It restores your veins and muscles. And it can activate the thymus. And I've talked about the thymus before in earlier videos. The thymus gland is what actually protects your immune system and helps build up the defense mechanism for your immune system. And I was watching Dan Winter, and he was talking about how the thymus actually is like a baseball glove for your heart, the magnetic energy from your heart. So when your thymus is not active or shrink down to barely nothing, then it's because your heart is not being the magnet that it's supposed to be in order for the thymus to be a catcher's mitt to the heart. And I'm actually going to do a video on that too, because I've been watching that video and taking down notes and getting a better understanding of how your heart works and how your heart and your emotions are tied together. And it can clear your sinuses, and aid in the treatment of alcoholism and osteoporosis. It reduces cravings when you're quitting a habit. That's why it's good for alcoholism. So if you are battling alcoholism or really anything that's a habit, it can help reduce those cravings. So that's another reason why I wrote down these things and why I kept it on here, even though I didn't I haven't located it yet. Okay. However, now we're going to talk about the beautiful stone that I did locate. It is called a turritella agate, and that's spelled, I'm going to let you see it. Hope you can see it really well. It's really cool looking. Actually, it looks like a fossil. They call it like a snail pattern as well. All right, it's spelled Turritilla, and it is deeply connected to earth and home. This right here just shows you how divine the universe is and how it definitely conspires for us and conspired for me to make this video. These two videos, seeing that I haven't done videos in probably a week or whatever. Because in my last video, I was talking about your fourth house and it being representative of home. This shit right here, nigga, this shit right here is connected to earth and home. It's connected to one's roots and ancestry. Again, the fourth house, y'all. Boom. Look at that right here. I almost did my Martin. I almost got on my Martin. I'm gonna, because I love that show. I said personal roots and ancestry, even the events of one's past. So it's connected to your past. That's why it's good to help you deal with your inner child issues. It is a survival stone of strength and protection. Protection is supposed to be your fourth house. Ancient life held within its form lends the power of wisdom and healing. Healing your inner child. Wisdom to teach you about your inner child. The turritella agate is a variety of chalcedony, a mineral of the quartz family. It is rich, earthy, brown, or black. Mine's is more of the brown variety. And recognized by the sea creature and fossilized snail patterns within the stone. It is a stone of personal connection with one's past ancestry, homeland, and the country from which those ancestors came. As a record keeper crystal, it may be used to gain access to the wisdom of past worlds and past life recall. It facilitates healing of past grievances that stand in the way of healthy relationships. So for those of us who are working towards having healthy relationships and you want to basically release all of that bullshit that you've been holding on to that has been a wall between you and the healthy relationship, this is a stone for you. It can unlock deep-seated traumas manifesting as physical symptoms and phobias. So for people who have these physical symptoms and ailments, and you're like, I don't know why the hell this is happening to me. I don't know why this happened because I know I never injured this or I never did that. This particular stone will help unlock those things. So you definitely need to be prepared to deal with these things. As I'm telling you this, you need to be prepared to deal with it, because let me just say this disclaimer. Anybody who is looking into getting any type of stones that help you deal with any type of past issues or that are helping you transform, like moldavite, like the turritella agate, like the smithsonite, any of those stones that actually aid in that, you need to be ready for it, because if there is fear there, you will actually magnify it and make it a lot worse. So even though this stone actually will help you release some fears as well, just make sure you are prepared for it. You prepare yourself for it, okay? All right. It is beneficial in self-analysis and uncovering hidden circumstances that might interfere with well-being. It promotes self-acceptance and confidence, encouraging the speaking of one's own truth. It overcomes bitterness of the heart by healing anger, fostering love, and lending the courage to start over. It stimulates the root chakra, the foundation of physical and spiritual energy of the body. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I have to impose something about myself. So, when I first came to this place that I'm staying at now, I was like, I walked into the room that was going to be my room to stay in, and the walls were red and white. I was like, red signifies root, which signifies root chakra. And the human, that human brain has a tendency to want to put a negative connotation on any and everything. However, in reading the book, which I was talking about in my last video, Autobiography of a Yogi, they talk about how the 7 chakras in Revelations, how in the Bible it talks about the 7 chakras, which are the 7 temples, or seven houses, in order for you to reach your divinity. So the root chakra is nothing negative about it. It's the foundation for all of your chakras, all of your body chakras. Not all of them, because we also have chakras in our feet, in our hands, in our legs. We have chakra points all over our body. However, that root chakra, that base chakra, is your foundation. And when that foundation is not healed completely, you cannot reach your full divinity. You cannot reach divinity, basically. So I had to say that because I know that there are people who probably are battling the same thing, because we are all one conscious. And I just want to say to you, don't look at any part of this being, even this physical body, as something that's bad or negative, because then you're getting back into that thinking that you were taught, that there's good and bad, and there's, you know, a part of you basically that you need to suppress, or you know what I'm saying? That's why people start doing things, not doing things. That's why people create their shadow self, and then you start doing things that become a habit that are not necessarily a beneficial habit to your inner being. So you basically start trashing your inner being unconsciously through the shadow self. And that's really my higher self talking to me, because shadow self was not on the list for me to talk about in the last video or this video. However, my higher self obviously wanted to bring that to the forefront. So I just wanted to say that to you guys. So the foundation of physical and spiritual energy of the body is the root chakra. It is the foundation of physical and spiritual energy of the body, the root chakra. It raises awareness and links into the collective consciousness of the oneness of life. Now we're talking about the stone again. It raises awareness and links into the collective consciousness of the oneness of life. Anything with earth, the brown, what you'll notice is if they're like a brown or a rusty, like orange type of color, they're always going to bring you closer to nature and the oneness of everything, and how everything is one, or how everything is connected, or how everything is linked. That is why it's always good to get you what I like to call a base stone, a base chakra stone, a root chakra stone. The red stones are also good. However, this brown, it's bringing you back to ground you. It's bringing you back to the earth. Planting your feet in the soil, because that's your feet, your roots, attaching you to the soil so that you can be a tree whose roots are attached to the earth. It encourages quiet contemplation of one's life experiences that lead to spiritual growth and inner stability. So quiet contemplation means that you're able to go in self and basically decipher your life experiences in order to elevate yourself in your spiritual growth and your inner growth. Okay, and that was it for this that I had written down. However, I do have some things on the computer that I wanted to talk about, because I didn't want to keep writing and writing. I really am not a writing person unless I'm journaling something. However, I have started doing my YouTube videos on paper, because sometimes writing is therapeutic, and it gets me away from being so much into technology, because when I'm doing a video, I'm already in technology, you know what I'm saying? So just a little balance. However, I wanted to get into some physical healing energy that this particular stone will bring you. So, Turritella, and it looks like you can, maybe there's a misspelling, but Turritella agate can be used to eliminate fatigue, and it is helpful in the absorption of nutrients and vitamin A, zinc, calcium, and magnesium. It may relieve swelling of the hands and feet. So for people who have issues with your hand swelling or your feet, try this. And distension of the abdomen, together with a proper diet. It is beneficial in problems related to aging, digestion, gastroenteritis, and pain associated with gallstones. Turritella agate soothes skin rashes and lesions, and itching due to insect bites. So the pesky mosquito bites, use the stone. And it can be useful in treating varicose veins and sexual dysfunction. Agate enhances mental function by improving concentration, perception, and analytical abilities. So, even though our focus is developing your intuition as well in the spiritual journey, remember, everything is balanced. It actually helps you in your analytical abilities, and in aiding your analytical abilities, it could aid you in getting to things faster instead of over analyzing things, getting to the root of it, root chakra. So agate is helpful to the heart and the blood vessels. Wearing an agate in the middle of the chest strengthens the cardiac muscle and heals emotional disharmony. A cold agate placed on the forehead is generally effective in curing fever. So you probably can just place it in the freezer, and if you had a fever, just put it on your forehead, and it will help alleviate that fever. If the fever returns, however, it says consult the doctor. I hate the word don't. I am totally about natural, holistic healing. So doctors are not even in my vocabulary at this point in my life. Agate may also reduce the symptoms of epilepsy, and for some people, guards against sleepwalking. So you can probably put this under your pillow if you're a sleepwalker to aid you in that process. Or you can put it on your person, whatever, but I'll probably start with under your pillow. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to add. This is for your emotional healing energy. Turritella agate helps diminish a superiority complex, dispelling the pomposity within an individual. A pompous asshole, basically. It dissolves negative thoughts and encourages balance during hardship and transitional times. See, I'm going through a transitional time with this mold device because it's molding me. So this aids in encouraging a balance with that. Like I said, Turritella agate facilitates healing of past grievances that stand in the way of healthy relationships. I talked about that. And I talked about your chakras. But let me talk a little bit more about the base chakra and what it does. Agate, it stabilizes the aura, eliminating and transforming negative energies. Its cleansing effect is powerful at all levels. So it cleanses all of your auras. Now, when you think about it, what happens is it pulls those negative energies from your emotional aura. It pulls it down to your root chakra, and it neutralizes it. That's what a lot of these earth stones do. Like I said, it stimulates your base chakra or your root chakra, which everyone should know, if you don't know, is located at the base of your spine. And that particular chakra controls the energy for kinesthetic feeling and movement. It is the foundation of, like I said, of spiritual and your physical energy of your body. When physically out of balance, the symptoms will manifest themselves as lethargy, low levels of activity, low enthusiasm, and a need for constant stimulation. When the spiritual energies are out of balance, you will feel flighty, disconnected from reality, and distant. When the base chakra is in balance, the physical body regains its strength and stamina, and the spiritual energy is rekindled in the form of security and a sense of one's own power. It often leads to independence and spontaneous leadership. Okay? And let me see if there's anything else I wanted to add. I told you that it's deep brown, and which brings connection with the natural world. It is the color influence of home, hearth, and nature. It helps you relax, reconnect, and regain your composure. It is a grounding stone, as I said. However, the black Tortilla agate enhances your connection to the physical and natural world. It brings power and strength, relieving fears specifically associated with the physical existence on the earth. So if you're dealing with issues with being here on this earth, get the black one. And of course, we know that black crystals offer protection and a retreat, the safety of being hidden from your enemies. I also finally got black obsidian. I was dealing with a little bit of fear of that. However, dealing with moldavite, I was like, might as well get the black obsidian. I also got the snowflake obsidian. I picked up jasper, and I got ruby. I think it's called ziasite. I'm going to post these on my Instagram, and I'm going to give you guys some benefits of those. And then I'm still, of course, going to continue to do videos about crystals and why they're benefiting, and the benefits of those crystals. Excuse me. If you are unable to locate the two crystals I talked about, because you can utilize those one crystals and it'll help you heal your inner child, or you can do a combination of other crystals. You can use clear quartz, amethyst, red jasper, pink calcite, blue aragonite, labradorite, which that one actually brings forgotten memories to light and facilitates overstanding, aventurine, rhodochrosite. I hope I pronounced that right. Rhodochrosite, rose quartz, which most people are familiar with. That was one of my first crystals. Moonstone, and petrified wood. So you can utilize a combination of those. Remember that the color of the stone dictates the chakra that it actually is beneficial for. However, there are some stones that are beneficial for multiple chakras. Some of them are beneficial for all chakras, like the one that I have. So just of course, you can do your own research on these. However, like I said, the two that I told you about, definitely you can use those by themselves, and they will help you in healing that inner child that so wants to be healed and wants to be loved, wants to be hugged, and wants to be told that everything's okay and nurtured. It's like, think of it like the child that's afraid of the dark. So they don't, they have to sleep with a light on, some type of light on to feel comfortable. That's basically you going into that room, your inner child inside yourself, and turning that light on and shining that light and telling them it's going to be okay by utilizing these crystals, okay? So, my loves, I thank you again for your love and support of my channel, Knowledge Butterfly. Check out my Instagram. If you're loving and feeling my vibes, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram so you can see some of my countryness, so you can see some of my pictures. I have some food that I made because I love to cook. I have some motivational or inspirational, I like to say, quotes, and I also have just other little tidbits, pictures and things from me in Jamaica, and also pictures from the place that I'm staying in right now, just to show you as I go on my adventure, my journey, just some places that the universe has brought me to. And I really know that this information has brought you upliftment in your journey. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.